It's Wind Funnel, everybody, and I am very happy to welcome the man who's been leading this points chase throughout the HO Champ Car World Series season, Jim Iverson. Jim, thanks so much for being on the Wind Funnel.
Hey, glad to be here.
Well, now this has been quite a season for you. You have been out front in the points for most of the season, and yet last week or last race you had quite a setback because at the Deckert Ring, cheese substance was found on your tailpipe. You were disallowed for the last race. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I've got a little bit of a problem with that. I thought maybe an appropriate penalty would be to knock off a few points at that race, but to penalize me a whole race.
A whole race.
Right back in the thick of things. I thought I was going to have a very easy ride the last couple races, just kind of staying ahead of Walzak and Margetta, but now it's 5 points separate the top 3 drivers. You can make a possible 70 points in the last 2 races, so 5 points is razor thin.
Absolutely.
Should be fun, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's between you and your teammate, which now it's every man for himself, right? I mean, you guys basically, you'll share some information, but once you're out on the track, it's every man for himself.
Right, we'll share some information. We won't race each other in the heats, but if we get in the final together, it's every man for himself. Both of us want to win.
Absolutely. And then you got Dan Margetta in the mix.
Margetta's a great driver. He's been known as the best driver never to have won the championship. And we want to make sure he stays the best driver that's never won the championship. That's what we're trying to do.
Now, you have been very close to a championship yourself, and of course, you drove with Phil Cianciolo when he won at least one championship, I believe, while you guys were teammates. So you've been close to this, and I think you are one of the guys also. Now, we've talked about Dan not winning a championship, but I think a lot of people have expected you to win one, and maybe they feel like this is the season that you're going to do that.
I expected to win one myself. When I first joined the league, I gave myself a 3-year plan. Well, the 3-year plan is going into its 6th year now.
HO Champ Car's a lot tougher than it looks, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is. And you know what? And that's the fun of winning here. And that's why Amy Butler's win was so big, because when you win in this league, you really earn the win, because you're racing against a lot of good people.
Absolutely.
And it's tough to win, and I've got all the respect in the world for the guys who've actually won this thing.
Well, Jim, what's the plan here? You got 2 races left to hold off these 2 guys who are charging after you. Anything special you're going to do?
Well, they're awfully fast guys. I'm just going to race as hard and as tough as I can, not give up. I might not be as fast as them early on, but I think I've got the stamina to catch up with them. And I've definitely got the will to keep after him, so it'll be tough.
Well, we wish you luck, and thanks so much for being on Wind Funnel.
There's just 2 events left on the HO Champ Car World Series schedule. We're here at the ultra-fast Turtle Creek Raceway, an open class event, the next to last race on the schedule. As you can see behind me, the madness has started already. Speaking of March Madness, it began 2 weeks ago in Chicago when Amy Butler probably scored the most popular victory in the series history. And that, coupled with a very, very tight point race between 3 drivers within 5 points, has brought the media out here in droves.
That it has. 5 points, 3 drivers, 2 races, 1 mistake. Kiss your title hopes goodbye. You got to keep it nice and smooth on here. No mistakes. Take it to the HO 500, see what you can do there.
And if there's any place where mistakes can be made, it's here at Turtle Creek. It's a fast track, but boy, it can bite you in a hurry.
That it can. Amy Butler found that out last year. Winning her heat race, ends up tangling while lapping John Shea, crashed to the floor. And then we saw the pushing and shoving afterwards.
But Larry Rodder has got to be the favorite. He always is here. It's Turtle Creek. It's his track.
It's Turtle Creek, but 4 or 5 races here. He's won all but 1. Remember, last year Mark Walzak just dominated here. The only problem being, everybody's saying, Larry's got no pressure, no pressure. Believe me, there's pressure. He wants to keep his win streak intact.
That's right, and now he's the number 2 driver on the team after last week. It's all here. It's in Brookfield, Wisconsin. It's the Turtle Creek Raceway. It's the M&J March Madness, a brand new sponsor on a fast track, and it's next.
That's a big turtle here at the M&J March Madness race here at Turtle Creek. That's probably why that's Big Turtle, because there's a Turtle Creek racetrack. And that number 7 car, Dan Margetta, he was showing off in practice. He's gonna wreck it. He's a show off, but he's fast in the pole. And next to him in that Batmobile car, that's Larry Ryder. He's really quick too.
Back here is Mike Fitzloff. The chassis Margetta ran came out of his shop. He's always fast in the number 19 car. That's Amy Butler, fresh off the win in Chicago, 4th place tonight, and very fast.
The number 2 car is Tom Spirit. And that car there, that's the WIJ Ops car. That's John Shea.
Back here's your point leader, Jim Iverson, way back here, fresh from sailing around the world. And alongside of him is Chris Spirit, the McDonald's car number 0.
There's an 11 car, and that's I can't read the side of that car. That's Andy Spirit. And there's that pink car. Man, he starts back, but he moves up pretty quick. I think he's going for them hard charger points.
That's right, he has a fast lap tonight. Back here, this is Mike Kristoff. The hindsight team bookends the field. That's the field for the M&J March Madness here at Turtle Creek. Racing's coming up. First heat race tonight at the M&J March Madness. Mike Kristoff, Mark Walczak, and Mike Fitzloff. Both Mikes in the same heat race. There's a problem for the pink car of Mark Walczak. He really needs to win this heat race to make the final, to stay in the point fight. And there is a problem there for, that looks like that's Mike Fitzloff. And it looks like Kristoff, I think, is leading this race, but not for long as Fitzloff comes back. A very fast track here tonight, Kitty Bo Peep. Really important for Mark Walczak to do good in this heat race, isn't it?
Oh, well, we're going to see if Mark Walczak can keep it together tonight. Sometimes he gets himself get a little rattled.
Just like you saw right there, you see him crash there on the bridge. He crashed with Kristoff.
This is absolute mayhem. It's crazy. None of these people are controlling their cars except Mike Fitzloff.
And right now, he's leading. That would make sense. The guy who controls his car the best leads early on in heat race number 1. It's Fitzloff. Kristoff, Walczak bringing up the rear.
Hi, Kitty Bo Peep here with our sponsor, and Mark, right?
Mark, that's right.
Mark, well, thank you so much for sponsoring this race. What do you think of all this craziness? I mean, this is all so official, and yet they're toy cars.
Oh, Kitty, we've been huge fans of the HO Champ Car slot racing ever since they had that Cianciola guy here, which I'm glad he's gone because it gives the other guys a chance to win now. So, and we're pulling for the local guys, the Butler Roder racing team. You know, I think this is a fast track, and Amy's coming off her big win last week in Chicago. And, you know, she's got to give Larry her chiropractic bills for carrying him all this year. So we're pulling for them tonight.
Oh, well, I like him. Isn't he witty? And, of course, your better half is over here. Hello. Welcome to the race. Fantastic to have you here. Thanks so much for sponsoring us.
Thanks for having us.
Enjoy the race.
Final 30 seconds now. Mike Fitzloff is your leader right now. He'll be on his way to the M&J March Madness. Could be trouble for Mark Walczak in that pink machine. Definitely handling issues on that car all night. He's second place right now, and he'll hold the transfer spot momentarily, but that's just 10 more seconds to go. I'm not sure that's going to haul. The car that spun right there is actually the car that's going to be your winner. The red and white machine, the number 19 car of Mike Fitzloff, and it's over. Here's your winner right here.
Second heat race now, full 4 cars. You've got John Shea, Larry Roder, and then your points leader, Jim Iverson and Chris Spirit. Jim right there in the green lane on the inside here coming into the first turn. Chris Spirit needs a push, and the first lap is going to be led by Larry Roder, the hometown favorite, well out in front. He has won this race 3 times here at his home track. In fact, from the time that the March Madness race moved to Turtle Creek, Dan Tommy Kendall, it really has been all about Larry Roder.
That's right, he's extremely fast here. Walczak won here last year, but he had trouble tonight, so Roder should be really tough, especially after last week's win. You know, Amy Butler won and kind of put Larry to second billing. I think he needs to step up to, impress the Larry Roder fans who are wondering where did their driver go. But the interesting thing here is you have John Shea, who was in this race, who's very fast when he shows up, along with Jim Iverson. That transfer spot position could be really interesting between those two. Iverson needs to make the final.
That's right. The pressure is on here with 3 cars, 3 drivers within 5 points of each other coming into tonight. Dan Margetta put it on the pole, scored himself a couple of points, closed that points lead down to 2. Mark Walczak scored a point by getting fast lap. In the meantime, we watch Larry Roder out front here in the second heat race. Larry and John Shea side by side. John now pulling out a little bit ahead over the black car. Now he pulls right beside him. Shea, about a 2-car length lead now as they go over the bridge. Down the front straightaway. Shea comes right back.
Wow.
Rotter right next to him. Oh, and he spins. Oh, coming down to the end of this one, and John Shea leads over hometown favorite Larry Rotter, but he's definitely on pace to make the transfer spot at this point. He's already obliterated Mark Walzak's lap total for second place. Now we're waiting to see who wins this thing.
That's right. It's Shea and Rotter putting on a tremendous show right here. A big-time story of this race, though, is Team PKVHO will not make the final. Both drivers, that hasn't happened in a long, long time. Two of the top 3 point guys are going to be sitting on the sidelines watching this race, and it just adds to the excitement. What happened last week in Chicago, you never know in this series what can go on.
That's for sure, is that we have seen Amy Butler win a race. Now we're going to see the guys who have won the last 6 open class races not make the final. They're both in the championship hunt. Heat number 3 is coming up with Dan Margetta yet to race. If he makes the final, just by default, he will come out of this race as the points leader for the Hussars Built Cup. Last few seconds ticking down now on this second heat race, and John Shea is leading Larry Rotter, and they both score huge numbers of laps. In fact, 150 will be the bar set for second place in the next heat. But John Shea is in the final. Oh, no, we were tipped off to a certain transaction that was going on back here, and we were told that, let's see if we can get in touch with a member of the press. Oh, Mark-Jan Beekus is here. He's got a camera. Mark, what do we hear is going on here?
Well, we got Dan Margetta paying off these guys that are racing in his heat to let him win to try and take over the points lead here.
Third and final heat race includes Dan Margetta. He is your pole sitter. Next to him, Amy Butler. And then you've got a couple of Spirit Boys. The blue car is Andy, the red and white car is Tom, and we are ready to roll things off here. Oh, and he's off fast. And it looks like Amy and Dan are out front. That's Amy Butler leading this heat race over Dan Margetta. There's the battle for the lead. Amy Butler back out front over Dan Margetta. Now Dan comes right back at Amy. They are side by side. They continue here as we come up on the first half of this third and final heat race. Look at this, right next to each other. This is dangerous stuff on this track. And we continue to watch Amy Butler now out front. Well, little Chris Economacki, it is a very close heat race here with Amy Butler coming off that big win in Chicago. She might win this heat race.
Yeah, but she spun right there. I guess you might have jinxed her there when you said she was going to win, and she spun out.
I certainly didn't mean to do that. Dan Margetta, of course, if he wants to keep his championship well ahead of the other 2 rivals that he has, those PKVHO boys, not in the final, Dan's going to have to win this heat race, Mark-Jan Beekus.
There he is. He's out front now. He's trying to keep it nice and smooth. He's going to be coming up here through lap traffic. The Spirit Boys kind of been having handling problems.
Well, this has certainly turned out to be Amy Butler's race after all. She looked a little weak in the middle sector of this race, but now Margetta is throwing this championship right out the window here. This is very costly. 3 stop and goes from a veteran racer like this.
It looks like he is not going to be able to, unless something happens, like we say. Dan now, it's going to be the 3 points leaders are not
hit the floor.
The 3 points leaders are not going to make the final here, John Derek Daly.
Well, you know, there were some predictions that some of the spoilers might come in and shake things up, and we had a meltdown from 3 mile mark, and now Dan is not going to advance. This is how racing goes sometimes.
Dangerous Dan.
The one thing to watch, Amy Butler had a real good practice session here. Larry Rotter was having problems. She's the #1 driver on the team. She looks like she's going to make this final.
Oh, we could see a Butler-Rotter team both in the final here as things are shaping up right now. And Amy Butler coming off of that big win in Chicago. Boy, could she go 2 in a row. That'd be huge. And the time runs down, and there it is. Amy Butler. Amy Butler has beaten Dan Margetta, and she is in the final again.
Little Chris Economacki here with these. They're teammates. You guys are teammates, right?
Yeah, teammates.
So that makes it kind of interesting, though, because then that means one of you guys has got to lose and one of you guys might win.
Those toothpicks are disgusting.
They're good for my teeth. But Larry, who's going to win this race, Larry?
Amy. Definitely Amy.
But that's not a lot of confidence. You might win. I heard this is your home track.
I think I'll finish second, but Amy's going to win.
Wow, you guys are pretty confident, right?
He's more confident than I am, but hey, I'm always looking for a win.
Win's looking for you sometimes, too. Good luck.
Thank you.
Again, with Mike Fishloff, you're a real dark horse in this race.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping I can just make it to the end. I got some speedsters in this one.
Yeah, but they might wreck. I mean, some of those people, they look a little unsteady.
Oh, they'll wreck all right. They will. Oh, yeah.
You got some arrangements maybe with some people?
No, not at all.
Well, good luck.
Thanks.
Hi, Kitty Bo Peep here with Jon Shea. John?
Hey, Kitty. I told you I'd meet you here tonight.
Oh, John, always good to see you. He's such a cutie. So, this Amy Butler's in your race. You had some trouble with her last time you were here.
I certainly did. She ran me over.
Oh, that's not what I remember seeing.
Yeah, I know. She's telling everybody a different story, but she ran me over. It's true.
Well, I certainly hope she runs you over again this time. That would be a beautiful thing, but I do wish you the best of luck. What's your strategy here?
I'm just going to try to run clean and see what I can get out of the race, and if if I get to the second half looking good, we'll go for the win.
Well, good luck. This is a tough track.
It is a tough track.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. All right, we'll see who wins.
The M&J Real Estate Investments March Madness underway. You've met the drivers. There's those two black cars of Butler Rada Racing. And then you got the red and white cars of Jon Shea and Mike Fitzloff. And out front that's Jon Shea out front. I don't know if you can see us here, but I'm interviewing RJ Foyt. We're standing right at the top of the grandstand that they've put inside this fence now. Catch fencing is supposed to be safer for the crowd. RJ, your boy is in second place here in this final race here.
I think you might be leading this race right now. I think you better check them scoring tower.
Well, you might be right about that. It looks like Mike Fitzloff has moved out in front. Well, you know, your team has struggled the last couple of races. You must be mighty proud.
Yeah, I ain't saying that none of them boys is racing for their ride right now, but I ain't saying they ain't either.
Well, things are a long way to go here. And RJ, what do you think is going to line up your team for next year?
I don't know. Like I said, we ain't had too much success this year, and I ain't used to failing, and I won't be happy if we don't get some wins maybe in one of these last couple of races.
We are waiting for pit stops, and Mike Fitzloff is due to, we've got problems now where a tire has gone off on the second place runner, Larry Rotter. He's got to do an actual pit stop there. Oh, he got it fixed. He's back on the track. He's serving a stop and go, and in the meantime, we're waiting for Mike Fitzloff to come in for his mid-race pits. He's having some problems coming around there. Waiting for the RJ Foyt team to call when they're going to go into their pit stops. All right, let's see what happens. And he's in.
And the car comes to stop. Looks pretty routine so far. They're changing the tires, they're adding the fuel, looks okay right now. There's a mystery vibration, something wrong with the car, they can't quite figure it out. They might have picked it up over the bridge. He is going to have to go, he'll be on his way out in about 2, 1. He's gone, but he's got to go 10 laps with the opposite driving hand as he deals with that vibration in the car. 10 laps with the opposite hand for Mike Fitzloff.
Oh, some real trouble for that RJ Foyt team. Oh, and there you saw a crash right here for your, and in the wrong hand. He just had a crash, put it over the fence, almost put it in the pond on that one. Here's the service stop and go. The lead may be in real danger here. And there's another spin. Let's watch that Fitzloff car as he does 10 laps with the opposite hand. He's having some real trouble there, trying to control it that way. So we're waiting for Larry Rodder's in now.
He's in. The car coasted. There was some trouble from the last crash. It's not running right. You can see it's obviously a problem. There's something with the electrical. The black box is being replaced. They're replacing the black box. It probably happened when he put it in the trees. I think the original black box is probably in the trees right now. But he's sitting in the pit for a long, long time. This is not good for Larry Rodder. A bad night is getting worse right now. The box is in it. The car is fired. He's ready to go. He'll be on his way, and he is gone. Go. 30-second stop.
Oh, very long stop for the second place car. Of course, the fans here lined up and waiting to see Larry Rodder win his first race of the season, but that's going to be tough to do with the car in the kind of shape it was. I don't know if we got a good look at it, but it looked like the body was had been pretty badly damaged. Now we're waiting for the other Butler Rodder Racing Team car to come in. She radios that she's due in on the next lap. There we go.
She's in, hits the marks. The air jacks have failed. The car didn't go up. They're going to have to change the tires by hand. They're getting the old T-wrench out. And it's going to take them a long time. Luckily, there's only one lug nut on each tire. It won't be like a stock car where there's 5, but this is going to take some time for Amy Butler. It's not going to be very good right now. It's taking taking a long time. This Butler-Rotter crew does not have a lot of experience with 2 cars in the final, so both cars pitting in one night is really costing. They're exhausted. She's ready to go. Amy takes off, leaves the pits. But she takes off in a hurry. She's so mad they have to do a stop-and-go penalty for speeding and exiting the pit, so they have to come back in for another stop-and-go. Obviously frustrated is the beer-drinking diva, as the pit crew might have heard, and she overshot the pit. But not out of this race, though. This was not going to hurt too much.
All right, she continues to run third. She's in and out, and now third place, John Shea, fourth place is doing.
The car hits the marks. This crew has got experience doing this. He's won some races this year. A handling change, no kidding on that car. How many times we saw that in the fence? Of course they're doing it. They're changing the wicker bill. A major, as Larry Rotter has
out. We're breaking in. Larry Rotter just put it on the floor.
Larry Rotter. Larry, we saw some handling problems there in the second half. What happened?
It sure did. It just went away completely. The yellow lane on me just does not get along. I don't know. It's like the front wheel just fell off all of a sudden and gone.
That's the second. Yeah, that was the second time we saw you in the trees over there, and this last one just put you up and over.
Yes, it did. I'm out.
He's gonna go root on his teammate Amy Butler here, who's now become, well, we'd say the #1 driver of the team. Let's get back and see how she does here.
All right, Mike Fitzloff has the lead, but he just put it in the creek, serving a stop-and-go penalty, and Amy Butler now is starting to close in on the lead. She's about 2.5 laps back and has been closing in for most of the second half of this race. She's coming off the win at Chicago. Mike Fitzloff has yet to win this season. It's going to be exciting stuff as both of them battle it down to the end of this one.
Amy's been real nice and smooth here in this green lane, slowly reeling them in. A lap and a half with about 1:15 to go. It will be close, just like Chicago was. Now, same lap, tail end of the same lap. Here's the battle for the lead. Amy's going to reel them in. Mike had a quick off. Battle for the lead, Amy.
There it is.
Down and around, Amy.
Front.
Nice and smooth. Oh, Mike's off! Mike's off! Fitzloff with a DNF. Butler just needs to stay smooth for the next 40 seconds, and she's got her second consecutive win. It's a reverse of Chicago where Walczak went off chasing. This time Fitzloff will lead and goes off.
A winning streak for Amy Butler. No one could have predicted this at the beginning of the season. Very popular stuff, no doubt. The points leaders all self-destruct tonight, and Amy Butler is going to win her second consecutive race after not having won a race in the first 6 seasons of her career. This is amazing stuff. The Butler-Rotter Racing team standing on the wall, waiting to congratulate their drivers. All she has to do is finish out the time, and there it goes. Amy Butler has won 2 in a row. We're in victory lane, and look who's here. It's Amy Butler for the second race in a row. Wow, I mean, where did this come from? All of a sudden you win in races. I mean, we haven't seen you in finals, much less winning.
Oh, you know, I just got tired of that losing stuff. That gets boring, so I thought, hey, let's try winning for something different.
You got out of company of that Mike Kristoff, and you're moving up in the world, right?
Oh, I don't know about that. It was a lot of fun. You know, maybe part of Larry is finally rubbing off on me.
Maybe that's it, because we certainly saw your teammate struggle out there and then wind up with a crash out of the race. I mean, it's been up and down for him, and here you are, all up.
Larry's been a great mentor, and I have to thank Dan Margetta, too. He's been great. He's been coaching me during my race, and I couldn't do it without the two of them.
Everybody is certainly very excited by you winning 2 in a row. And how about these points leaders? Everybody was quaking in their boots thinking, you know, this whole race is all about the championship. And where are those guys?
I don't know. They all just sort of unraveled. They fell apart.
Amazing stuff here. Wait until we go to the HO Indy 500, because the whole championship has to be decided there. It's the last race of the season, everybody.
Excellent job, John.